Beloved soul. There's something I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I feel like maybe it's something you need to hear too. We spend so much of our lives waiting for the right person to show up, don't we? We scroll through faces, we swipe through options, we analyze every conversation like we're trying to decode some ancient language. And somewhere in all of that searching, we start to believe that love is something we have to hunt down, something we have to earn, something that only comes if we're perfect enough, or ready enough, or healed enough. But what if I told you that while you've been searching, something far greater than your effort has been working on your behalf? What if the connection you've been longing for isn't something you have to chase, but something that's already being prepared for you? I'm not talking about some magical thinking here. I'm talking about the way God works in the hidden places of our lives, the way He orders our steps even when we can't see the path, the way He knows the desires of our hearts before we even have the words to speak them. Psalm 37:4 says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." And I think sometimes we misunderstand that verse. We think it means if we just pray hard enough or act good enough, God will give us what we want like some kind of transaction. But that's not what it's saying at all. It's saying that when you align your heart with God's heart, when you find your joy and your peace in Him first, He begins to shape your desires to match what He already knows is good for you. And sometimes what He's preparing is so much better than what you thought you wanted. I want you to think about all the times you thought you found the one. All the times you were convinced that this person was it, that this relationship was going to be the answer to everything you'd been praying for. And then it ended, and it hurt, and you couldn't understand why God would let you go through that if He really cared about you. But here's what I've learned, and maybe you've learned it too. Those weren't failures. Those were redirections. Those were moments when God loved you enough to close a door that would have led you somewhere you were never meant to go. Because the truth is, not every connection is meant to last, and not every person who feels right is right. Sometimes we meet people who teach us what we don't want, who show us the patterns we need to break, who reveal the wounds we still need to heal. And those people aren't accidents. They're part of the preparation. They're part of the process that's shaping you into the person who will be ready when the real thing arrives. You see, destiny isn't just about the moment two people meet. It's about everything that had to happen before that meeting could ever make sense. It's about the growth, the heartbreak, the lessons, the waiting, the becoming. It's about learning to love yourself enough that you don't settle for someone who only loves you halfway. It's about learning to trust God enough that you don't force something just because you're tired of being alone. Ecclesiastes 3:1 tells us, "To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven." And I know that waiting for your season can feel exhausting. I know there are nights when you lie awake wondering if it's ever going to happen for you, if you're ever going to experience the kind of love you see other people living in. But I need you to understand something. Your season is not late. It's not delayed because you did something wrong or because you're not enough. It's coming at exactly the right time, because God's timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't feel that way to us. And while you're waiting, He's not asking you to put your life on hold. He's not asking you to stop living or stop growing or stop enjoying the life you have right now. He's asking you to trust Him, to delight in Him, to find your fulfillment in Him first, so that when love does come, it doesn't become your whole world. It becomes a beautiful addition to a world that's already full. I think one of the most damaging lies we believe is that we are incomplete without a partner, that we're somehow half a person until someone else comes along and makes us whole. But that's not how God designed it. He created you whole, complete, fully loved, fully valued, fully worthy, exactly as you are right now. Yes, companionship is a beautiful gift, and partnership can bring incredible joy and growth, but it's not the thing that validates your existence. You are not a rough draft waiting for someone else to finish your story. You're a masterpiece in progress, and every chapter of your life matters, including this one. If you take anything away from this message today, I hope you'll take this. Stop waiting for your life to start when love arrives. Start living fully right now. Start investing in your passions. Start building the life you want to live. Start becoming the person you want to be. Because here's the beautiful secret. The person who's being prepared for you is being drawn to the fullness of who you are, not the emptiness of what you're missing. They're not coming to complete you, they're coming to complement you. And that's a completely different thing. In Genesis, when God brought Eve to Adam, Adam didn't say, "Finally, now I'm complete." He said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh." He recognized her. He saw the reflection of himself in her. He understood that she was a partner, an equal, someone who matched him. And that's what God is preparing for you. Not someone to fix you, but someone who fits you. Someone who sees you and recognizes you and says, "Yes, this is the one I've been becoming ready for." But here's the thing about preparation. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a week or a month or even a year. It happens over the course of your whole life, through every experience, every relationship, every heartbreak, every triumph, every moment of doubt, and every moment of faith. God has been preparing you for this connection before you even knew you wanted it. Every lesson you've learned about boundaries, every moment you've chosen self-respect over settling, every time you've walked away from something that didn't honor you, all of that has been shaping you into someone who will recognize real love when it shows up. And at the same time, God has been preparing someone else. Someone who's been learning their own lessons, facing their own challenges, growing through their own heartbreaks, becoming the person who will be ready to meet you where you are. You've never met them. You don't know their name. You don't know their story. But they're out there, and they're being shaped just like you are. And when the time is right, when both of you have become who you need to be, your paths will cross in a way that feels less like coincidence and more like divine orchestration. Proverbs 19:14 says, "House and wealth are inherited from fathers, but a prudent wife is from the Lord." And while that verse is specifically about marriage, the principle applies to all meaningful connections. The relationships that truly matter, the ones that last, the ones that transform us, those don't come from our own efforts alone. They come from God's hand. They come from His perfect knowledge of what we need, who we need, and when we need them. And I know that can be hard to trust when you've been waiting so long. I know it can be hard to believe when you've been disappointed so many times. But your past disappointments don't determine your future possibilities. Just because it didn't work out before doesn't mean it won't work out now. Just because you've been hurt before doesn't mean you'll be hurt again. Every ending you've experienced has been making room for a new beginning. Every door that's closed has been protecting you from a path that wasn't meant for you. Because that's what they are. God doesn't take things away from us to punish us. He redirects us to protect us, to guide us, to position us for the blessings He knows are coming. And sometimes the hardest part of faith is trusting that God's protection looks like disappointment in the moment, even though it's actually steering us towards something we couldn't have imagined. I want to talk to you for a moment about the version of yourself that's been waiting, the one who's been patient, the one who's been hopeful, the one who's been believing even when it felt foolish to believe. I want you to know that your waiting hasn't been wasted. Every moment you've spent becoming a better version of yourself, every moment you've spent healing, growing, learning to love yourself well, all of that has been an investment in the relationship you're moving towards. Because the quality of the love you attract is directly connected to the quality of the love you have for yourself. If you don't believe you deserve kindness, you'll accept cruelty. If you don't believe you deserve consistency, you'll accept chaos. If you don't believe you deserve commitment, you'll accept convenience. But when you truly understand your worth, when you truly grasp that you are a beloved child of God, created with intention, valued beyond measure, deserving of respect and honor and genuine love, you stop accepting anything less than that. And that shift in your own self-perception changes everything. It changes who you allow into your life. It changes what you tolerate. It changes the energy you carry. And it changes the kind of person who's drawn to you. 1 Corinthians 13 is often read at weddings, and we all know the verses about love being patient and kind. But I want you to think about those qualities not just as something you're looking for in another person, but as something you're cultivating in yourself. Because the love you're being prepared for will require you to be patient, to be kind, to be forgiving, to be humble, to be selfless. And if you're not practicing those things now, if you're not learning them in your current season,
you won't be ready to live them out when the relationship arrives. So use this time, use this season of waiting to become the kind of person you want to be in a relationship. Practice patience with yourself and others. Practice kindness even when it's not returned. Practice forgiveness even when it's hard. Practice communication even when it's uncomfortable. Because all of those skills, all of those qualities, they're not just relationship skills, they're life skills. And the more you develop them now, the more prepared you'll be for the connection that's coming. I also want to talk to you for a moment about the fear that I know is sitting in the back of your mind. The fear that maybe it won't happen. Maybe you'll be the exception. Maybe everyone else gets their happy ending, but you don't. I want to speak directly to that fear and tell you that it's normal, it's human, but it's not true. Your story is not over, your chapter is not closed, and the fact that it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it never will. God's promises are not limited by